And guys, new location today, Cellar Natural Area in Alamance County. Cellar is named after a community that was developed along the banks of the Hall River, and because there was a shallow area that was used for crossing in the 1700s, and then later a bridge built, and then that's how they made it across the Hall River. Therefore, it's called the Cellar Natural Area. There's some trails here. Today, we're going to find a stone cooler box that's in a creek, and that was near a store that was built out here. The Geringer store and grist mill was here. And then the stone cooler box should be on the creek, Basin Creek, that runs through the property. And then hopefully we'll find that for you. That was used to cool drinks and milk. And supposedly had a pulley system where he would get the drinks in and out of that cooler box. And then hopefully we'll find an old chimney out here, an old homestead, and check out the Hall River. There's paddle access for camping if you reserve ahead of time. We're going to check out some places like that here. And then right here's the sign. The Cellar Natural Area. It's got about, the whole trail system's got about 5 miles of trails. But this one here is knocked out from a storm. So it's knocked out. They're going to do a reroute. So yeah, so you can get about 5 miles of hiking out here. But today we're going to just explore and just see what we come up with. Whole new property. It's about 190 acres out here. And then already a footbridge you should go across. Look at that, guys. That is what he just filmed. That's a cooler box. It's in Basin Creek, runs through here, and this cooler box is right here on the trail. But that's pretty cool to actually see that. It was used to keep drinks cool and milk cool when there used to be a store here on the property. How cool is that? And this, like I say, this is called Basin Creek, and that's what a cooler box, a stone cooler box would look like. So basically they're saying that there was a store here yeah, in the early 1900s there was a mill built out here and a store, and this guy named Geringer had his grist mill, a store, and a pulley system would, I guess, get the drinks to and from this cooler into the store for customers. So that's kind of cool to find. But yeah, new area, seen some new things. And there's actually a little sign we did find near this cooler box. It's the L.M. Geringer cooler box. And it basically just talks briefly about what we just told you guys. But anyway, that's kind of cool. The creek is very shallow, but you can imagine how cool the water would be when the water levels are normal. Right now we're in a drought in North Carolina where this property is located. But what a cool find, and literally the parking lot's not far from here. Anybody can come here and see this cooler box. Another view from looking from the trail. And literally like right over there is the parking lot in Basin Creek. Another look at the cooler box. So what we did notice, there's a hole right here, right in there, that probably was used for water to drain out. Let's zoom in on it for you. If you see it, that hole right there. That's a cool find, guys. That's the first time we've ever seen a cooler box like that built on a creek. Now they had some prior to the 1900s that were probably rocks formed in to keep I guess drinks or something cool. Maybe you could, wherever you need it cool. Or I guess you could also dig out cellars, root cellars and stuff. But that's really cool. So let us know, have y'all ever seen a stone cooler box before?
Like this especially.
And this is easily accessible. You don't have to go off trail at all. It's right on the trail. But anyway, enough talking about this. We're gonna go see what else we can find out here on this property. Supposedly there's an old homestead here, remnants of one, and then we'll see if there's any other remnants of the mill that was here as well. And then of course the Hall River runs through the area as well. Check it out, guys. We found a Bible verse carved in a tree. Then of course somebody wants to get angry and make an X on it. If you want to offend somebody quickly, use the Bible, right? What do you think?
It's a pretty cool observation box, or whatever you, what you call it.
There you have it, a small observation box. We assume that's what this is, and then it overlooks a field that was probably farmed at one point in time. Interesting. But yes, we got about 200 acres of property at the Shallow Ford Natural Area. Now, one reason why I guess we haven't known much about this area is probably because it did not open until around 2022. But Alamance County in North Carolina, they do have a lot of nice parks that are worth visiting because some of them are the sizes of what a state park could be. Oh, there you go, we're in the field now. The trail comes out, and there's a big observation one. I don't know what the railings are out here, guys, but there's birdhouses built around the field, which is fine and cool, but this is some kind of railing that says, oh, they painted it. So they painted it, they're going to use this for something, I just don't know what. It looks like we're working on painting this rail for something. Unless they're going to
build something new. Trails.
You don't know. There's, look at the farm field. And a big observation platform over there we're going to check out. Yeah. What do you think of this, buddy?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool observation. The field and power line.
Yeah, we're thinking certain times of year it may be prettier than others, but maybe there's flowers and stuff that come up, or it has in the past. But it's overlooks this field. Really nice observation deck.
Oh yeah.
And opportunity to see some probably old farmland.
Birds.
Or reclaimed farmland that nature's taking back over, furloughs. But yeah, interesting. This is an old homestead, probably early 1900s. Hand-formed bricks. You know, you got the hand-formed bricks that are out here, spider, damn it. And then you got this foundation of something was here. The reason why we were looking around slightly off trail, you know, we were looking around because we saw something familiar to us, which is over here, these plants. Right here. These plants.
Big old green things here.
And then
spiky.
There's a whole cluster of them right here.
And all these.
I don't know if you can see them good or not.
All of this.
This whole cluster of
These diggings here are the real telltale sign.
all this. So it was slightly off trail, but
Yeah.
there's a field where the viewing platform is. That's
to the right.
part of the field there, farm, right? So someone had definitely had a homestead over here. It's not an official trail here, but
Just a little access road.
we did find the structure
There she sits.
right over here, and hand-formed bricks. And then on the other side of that, there's part of an old barrel, which we're not going to walk to today, but there's some foundation pieces, like over there. There's some pieces of something,
Yeah.
of a structure that once was here, guys. What a cool find. Well, we're going to keep hiking and exploring and see if we can come up with some other stuff. What a cool bridge. This is a really cool footbridge that goes over Basin Creek that runs through the property. There's a couple small streams that do go through the property. But what, this is kind of cool, man. The Garinger and Tickle families lived on the property, and that is their chimney that's no longer standing. We thought there'd be a standing chimney out here, but that's the remains. It's a pile of rock that's out here.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get out my shadow out of it, but it's actually a significant rock fall. This is a chimney fall for sure.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it's down, but the Garinger, that's the homestead that was here.
There's more of it.
Now right here is where you want to see the hand dug well. And of course they were able to make it look pretty good considering 1900s work. So
nice.
This is the hand dug well that's on the property. And nearby, the root cellar. So this is the hand dug well. It goes
Way down
wow.
there. Oh yeah.
To hand dig this thing, that's deep.
I know.
They hand dug it and did a good job with, of course the county came in and put these bars.
They made it
top
safe
part.
and stuff.
And they may very well have built this protective around it, but the hand dug portion started at the bottom of this and went down, and then this was redone the top probably to keep it safe is my guess, because when you look down you can really see old rocks.
Yeah, you can
This
tell.
was put on top. So that's the hand dug well. Careful with that. Woo. But yeah, man, that's pretty cool to imagine that they dug that deep, way down in there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's left of it. Now the root cellar's nearby. That's where they took water, ice blocks from the Hall River and stored it in the root cellar back in the early 1900s. And it is located over here. Careful around it, but so that whole structure there goes in pretty deep. And they lined it with rocks. And that is what's called a root cellar. Mm-hmm. We've seen a couple of these. There's one at Canyon Mountains natural area. There's a root cellar, or hand dug in ground cellar as well. It's just a way to keep things cool. But what a cool find! At least we were able to find some of these things here. But it's not every day you can find these root cellars anymore. This one's not collapsed in. The chimney was standing though at one time a few years ago. I guess. Unless there's another one on the property we don't know about. But yeah, there's multiple homesteads out here. The one we showed you in the video earlier, and then this one is the Tickle Granger. Geringer, whatever his name is, Geringer, right?
Mm.
So the Tickle family, Geringer family were here, and maybe that was some of their people that also had the other homestead. But really cool find. And back toward the parking lot, when we wrap up and finish for today, we'll look and see if we see any more remains of the grist mill that was on that creek. But interesting. Speaking of history disappearing, you can tell this root cellar, this wall right here is about to collapse. It's going to collapse very soon and fall in, and your root cellar is going to be pretty much collapsed in and caved in. So nature reclaims it, man, I'm telling you. Still good find. I'm glad we were able to come out and see it while we can, because like I say, these things are disappearing rapidly with nature and the age of you know, when you start hitting 100 years plus, things disappear rapidly. What do you think, man, about this stuff? Hi, man.
Campsite right off the trail. Whole bunch of them out through here. Pretty good fire pit.
If it went for a drought, right now that we're in North Carolina, that is, you can reserve these campsites if you're hiking or paddling the Hall River. You can paddle in, the river's not far from here, and then you can reserve one of these campsites for the night. And then right here at this campsite is a shagbark hickory. Look at all that, look at that shagbark.
And the baby one right there.
That's really cool. I don't know if it shows good or not, but that's a lot of shaggy bark on camera. Yeah, and he said there's a small one here.
Dead.
Yeah, it looks like it's dying or dead, but there's shagbark. Probably won't pick up good on this side. This is a unique tree for sure. Yeah, we can hear the river nearby.
Yeah.
And then right over here is another camp.
I set up the block.
So there's a couple camps that people can reserve. And the mountain to sea trail runs through the property as well. There you have it, guys. And you can reserve these online or call. They don't cost very much. Oh, the root cellar, yeah, the root cellars, they're dug out.
Yep.
Helps keep your farming stuff cool, like maybe you can stuff or grains or whatnot, whatever you need to cool. I guess you could store in your root cellar. The ice house we couldn't locate. There's a depression nearby that was actually the ice house where they were using the wintertime to store ice from the Hall River, it says. But we could not locate that. And I guess the chimney is down, but it used to be standing. But what a cool find, cool area. Well, next we're going to try to access the river and see what it looks like and film some of that. And then when you're on the Homestead Trail, we just did the blue loop for the Homestead Trail, named after the homestead of the Tickle and Geringers. Cool stuff on it. And then when you see the access for the, what was it? Yeah, the Hall River Trail, that leaves the park or leaves this natural area. It's not really, and then goes up, parallels the river, because they're trying to do, you know, major hiking trail along the Hall River as well, which is a challenge because the banks erode so bad during big storms. And then there's a map. So we parked down here today and we did the Basin Creek. And then we went up here and did the blue, which is the Homestead Trail. And then the yellow we'll probably come and do another time. That's the Hidden Hill one that goes through some reclaimed farmland and stuff like that. The Homestead Trail though, there it is. And it does, we're over here. We're going to look around and see what the river access looks like real quick. And then we'll be able to at least show you that. But it's literally right over here. The trails are looking good though.
They do look clean. Maintained.
All right, parallel, yeah, it parallels the river.
Yep.
So there's some growth along the bank. And even with some rain last night, the river is low. There's the Hall River. Don't know. Not sure what that's about. Rest in peace, Tony. Who's Tony? Rest in peace, Tony's on this tree right here by the river. So the river's here. As far as bank fishing goes, this limited access growth and eroded banks of the Hall River from storms has made them very steep. So not good bank fishing, unfortunately. But a pretty trail that parallels the Hall River, yes. Now, we found a section to fish at the Lower Hall River access, another one of our state parks in North Carolina that is good to go to, and the 64 parking access where it flows into Robeson Creek area, that stretch has a lot of bank access. But as you see, it's pretty thick. The river's over there. There's some good views of the river, but as far as bank fishing goes on this section, it's a strikeout. We're gonna go turn around, but let us know about that rest in peace Tony. Did he die out here, drown, or what happened? Not sure. But good clean trails. If you do all the trails, you can, you know, most of them are loops, but you can combine them however you feel, however you want. They're on All Trails as well, the All Trails app. And then so you can get about 5 miles of hiking if you wanted to, but it's definitely worth a visit. We don't live too far away. It's about 40 minutes from where we live. We're in central North Carolina, and we just wanted to check this place out. There's a picture online in Google Images, I think, if you go look, that has a standing chimney out here. That might have been the Garinger one. It has fallen in, or they have intentionally knocked it down, one of the two. Because it looked like if this was open in 2022, it should still be standing from that picture online. But it was in rough shape. And you know, we've had some bad storms, so yes. But anyway, that's the river. The beautiful Hall River. There is a view right here with the bench, but the sun's going to reflect pretty bad in the camera. There's a bench right here. Pretty area, but bad reflection of the sun, but yeah. But again, very steep banks, to give you an idea. This is what's called the Lilybeth Corridor. This was named after a lady. She died when she was 36 from a ruptured appendix. They owned some land out here, 400 acres, I believe they owned some farmland, so that's in remembrance of her and their family, since they owned that land near the Hall River. So, and here's some more views of the river in the distance. We like the Hall River. We have kayaked parts of it. It is a beautiful river. It's just we've been trying to explore places to fish this river from the bank, and we, like I said, we have found some, but not a lot. Campsite 1. Basically, you can scan, go to the website, or call the automated number. So yeah, that's one of the paddling camps, but we showed you above it what it looks like. And campsite 2, same thing. So when you are reaching it from here, campsite 2, and then we were above it already filming it already, but now we know, yes, you can barcode it. So I guess you can't, if it's available, you can reserve it last minute, I guess. Of course, if you do leave no trace, they wouldn't know you were there anyway if you just needed to stop. But of course, if it's being used, you can't. Access. There you have it, guys. It says Shalford Ford Natural Area, camping area access on that sign. But yeah, man, it's nice. And then you just access those rocks And then up here, they made a thing to put your kayaks on. There you have it. That was done by Boy Scout Troop 1. Something 13, but anyway.
2013. No, that ain't right.
Yeah, I don't know either. So yes, very nice project the Boy Scouts did in here, that you can actually put your kayaks up, let them dry out, resupply. I don't know what the box is for.
Burning, so there's trash full in it.
Huh?
Burning, I guess, but it's full of trash.
So anyway, pretty cool little thing that you can. So yeah, the fishing access is limited. Looks like these rocks you can fish from. We saw a few people leave from here that were fishing, but it's very limited, it looks like.
We found the shallow ford crossing. This is where they brought the cars and buggies back in the day.
Right here is a shallow ford crossing on Basin Creek. And then later, with time, they did build a bridge over the Hall River, which is not too far, but their roadway went through here. You can tell.
Just where the rocks.
Right through here was the old roadbed, and it went to the Hall River, and then by bridge crossed it. So this is why the whole town was here, because it's shallow ford crossing, and it created a whole community. And with the Hall River being here, and remember there was a lot more flow with the Hall River probably 100 years ago. Less dams, I would think, when you're talking about 1700s. But check that out though. Then I'll zoom out. There you have it, guys. Shallow ford.
Yeah.
And it's down below that footbridge that crosses Basin Creek, so it's downstream from it, but not far off trail. You'll see as you are hiking through, it's not hard to find at all. There's probably small suckerfish and stuff in Basin Creek. And then this is the creek that was I guess dammed for the grist mill at some point on this property too.